Right, I think we're live. Checking my audio. All right, I checked my audio, so I should be live now. Should be good. So I'm not falling for any of the tricks in the chat. But anyway, welcome to another show, live chat. So UTSA is victorious over UIW, 48-20. The game was okay. I think we see some good things from UTSA. We see some things that we hadn't seen in the first couple of games, but if I'm honest, y'all, I still have some big concerns, and I have some frustrations. But I don't want to be a negative Nancy to start. I'm already seeing some of the I'm actually quite surprised. I'm seeing some of the comments, and people are. It seems like folks are feeling about the same as I'm feeling in terms of what we got from that game. I think here's the thing. I was telling people, a lot of people asked me coming into this game, like, what am I looking for? People were worried about if we were going to win or lose the game. And I told people straight up, and I said this on Wednesday show as well. And I was trying my best to be as respectful to UIW as I could. But I told y'all, like, I watched the first two games of UIW multiple times. They are going to struggle as an FCS team. I know they have this like record of being ranked for all these years, but they're going to struggle, folks. They're not a very good team. I will say with EJ Colson, that quarterback that eventually came in, if he's playing, they may make some noise, but based on what they put on tape, I didn't expect much from that team. And we saw that today. So here I want to like highlight a couple of things in the beginning that I think were important. Because to me, as I was about to say, it's like I wasn't worried about the win or loss. I'm worried about what did we get from the results. I tweeted this before the game. I wanted to see UTSA show balance on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And some people may say, hey, what does balance look like? What do you mean by balance? Well, what I mean by that on the offensive side is I obviously want to continue to see the running game do what it does, but I also want to see a bit more versatility in the passing game. And what I mean by that is I'm not necessarily talking about the quick screens, the underneath RPO passes. You guys got to understand this. Screens are an extension of the run game. Yes, the quarterback is throwing it to a receiver, but it's an extension of the run game. A lot of these passes are being caught behind the line of scrimmage, and linemen and you got receivers too, or out on the edge blocking for them, but the ball is still being received either behind the line of scrimmage or right at the line of scrimmage. So I almost include that into the run game. So whenever I mean balance, I'm talking about, hey, do we got the screen game working? Or we working the ball deep downfield? Or we working the ball in the intermediate channels, which I think is an important thing too. One of the biggest stats coming into this game is UTSA was 28% coming into this game on third down, and the vast majority of those third downs have been third and longs. And so what do? Right? Against UIW, we didn't really break what we typically did in terms of how we try to achieve those yardage. We didn't drop back and pass much and try to do these intermediate routes. We still use versions of our run game, whether that be literally running the ball or throwing it out for a bubble screen or a tunnel screen. But let me not go too far on that. Like I said, I want to like try to hit on the positives before I get to the things that was really frustrating for me. On the positive side, I like to see our defense get takeaways. We had multiple opportunities at takeaways. We had a couple dropped interceptions. I think that's cool. Like I said, the one thing about just left defenses, especially at UTSA, has been, hey, they haven't been perfect at keeping points off the board or blanking the opposing offense. But what they've been good at is getting off the field on third downs and creating takeaways. And we saw some of that today. UTSA was able to get off the field on the third down, albeit a lesser opponent. They were able to get off the field on third down, especially in that first half. And they were able to create opportunities where takeaways were available, and they take advantage of some of those. It was great seeing Davin Martin on that deep post being able to get up and play the ball and get an interception. Shad Banks was all over the field in terms of he got an interception, he got a fumble recovery. He's someone that is having an amazing season and is really developing into a big time impact player for UTSA. So that was good. Jamarius Lewis with the beautiful hit that he made that dislodged the ball from that UIW receiver, for which Shad Banks then recovered, right? So, Shad Banks also dropped the interception that was gift wrapped right in his hand from a bad pass from UIW's quarterback. So what I do like is from a schematic standpoint, I think Lep's defense is still putting the players in position to create takeaways. So that's a good thing. And that, to me, gives me a little bit more, I guess, confidence that the defense, although they probably won't be perfect, they will still find a way to make big plays. So I think that's good. It was also good to see our pass rush finally actually start doing some things. And they even got off to a slow start. I'm still pretty concerned, but it was just good to see those guys have success. If I'm being honest, now when EJ Colson came into the game in that second half, our defense did not play especially great. He carved us up quite a bit. And I thought that was kind of funny. Like, I've been hearing so much about Richard Torres, and like I said, I know I got some friends and people who are really that I'm close with in San Antonio who have spoken so greatly about Torres. But I'm like, I saw this EJ Colson kid, and I'm like, he's better, and I don't think it's close, personally. And he was certainly better this game. UTSA's defense definitely showed that a competent quarterback is going to give them problems. But we also showed that quarterbacks aren't going to be able to make mistakes, or we're going to punish them. So it's just going to take reps and time for some of these guys to get comfortable and get confident and begin to make these plays. That's what this non-conference stuff is for. I like the fact that we have our schedule the way it is, to where we do all this non-conference up front, and we're not starting conference early. We're getting all this stuff done up front, so we can prepare for conference play. So I'm hopeful for the defense. Now, offensively, guys, I'm listening. Okay, yes, there's a couple of high points on offense that I will, I'm going to get into your questions, I promise. But I'm trying to, like I said, I want to start this video off about giving the positives that I saw, because this is a victory. This is a victory. So I need to respect it as such. The positives on the offensive side of the ball is Robert Henry right now is probably the best running back in the country. Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say. If he's not the best, he's one of the best. He's on the short list. He's coming to his own. You got to give a huge credit to our offensive line, who was creating the lanes for him. But when you notice, here's the signs of a good back. Whenever that back needs to beat somebody in the hole, he needs to evade a defender and dispose of a defender so he can make those. He's breaking 75 yards, and if you see every one of them, he has a safety he has to dispose of before he does it. And he's money. 1 foot into the ground, he's gone. So you got to give him a boatload of credit. Robert Henry is saving our team, quite literally, I think. Another one is AJ Wilson. AJ Wilson, start that man. Listen, I am not being disrespectful when I say this. I know he is currently not starting because William McCoy is the starting receiver there. But like I said, I think UTSA is almost signaling what they feel about that situation. And I'm like, just start the guy. McCoy's not getting targeted. When Wilson gets in, he's starting to pick up targets. I said this on Twitter, and let me know in the comments if y'all agree. Anytime AJ Wilson is involved in a play, it's a positive play. everything seems to work perfectly, right? Whether it's a deep ball, I mean, he had a great touchdown. It was, that was the only deep ball, only downfield pass we completed all game. But really, really, really good, play of Robert Henry, or not Robert Henry, AJ Wilson getting open, McCown finding him. And he had some other great catches too. He was able to get involved. He's going to be a top receiver for us. He's going to be a top receiver for us. So we've been looking for that guy who can stretch the field, who can be consistent, who's not afraid of the moment and can come in and contribute. And it's AJ Wilson. So I'm really, really happy to see what he's doing. Start that man. Start that man. Start that man. If we don't start this guy, it should be a problem. Listen, I said this about McCoy before, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he had 11 drops last season. That's unacceptable. Some pivotal drops. You go and get a guy like AJ Wilson to come in and take over, right? It's not to say McCoy doesn't have talent or something like that, but he needs to earn that time. He needs to earn the opportunity to get targeted and get plays called for him specifically now. So we're better when that guy's on the field, and that was one of the biggest pieces of positivity that I took from this game on the offensive side of the ball. So for me, the big ones offensively, just to recap, Robert Henry, of course. I still like what I'm seeing from Will Henderson as well. I think the tight ends got involved a little bit more in this game, so the tight ends I think are good. I mean, listen, we got some of the best tight ends in the country, man. I think we have one of the best tight end rooms in the country. When you think about the guys that we have in Hunter Thomas, Patrick Overmeyer, Dan Dishman, even the new guys that we brought in, like these guys all come in and contribute, and they're sure-handed and they're really good. And I was happy to see, between the tight ends, Owen had 29 receptions. The tight ends had 7 of those. So I think that's a nice share. DJ Allen is another guy that I will mention. He has 7 catches today. Just someone who's sure-handed. He's not doing anything crazy after the catch, but he's someone that we can who's dependable, that we can rely on. So yeah, I thought that was good offensively as well. I'm trying to find more positives offensively. I'm not saying the quarterback did not play bad. That's not at all what I'm saying. He still struggles with the deep ball, in my opinion, even though he threw a great one to AJ Wilson. But there were others where it was just like an issue. I want to look at a couple of things. Third down, we were all right, 8 for 16. Fourth down, we were 1 for 1. We had 442 yards total offense. UIW had 357 yards total offense. We had 238 passing yards, 204 yards on the ground. We averaged 6.3 yards per play, and we had 34 minutes of time of possession. We did have 7 penalties, which is a no-go. We had a lot of dumb penalties. Coach Traylor got fired up a couple of times at some of those. But we cannot that can't be a thing. That can't be a thing. Okay. I spent 13 minutes talking about the positives. I'm going to get into your questions because I think a lot of you guys share some of my sentiments, and I will vent to you guys about what I'm frustrated about through y'all's questions. There's a couple of things that is really, really grinding my gears that I really want to get out, but I think the questions you guys have here are going to bring it out. And if there's something that's bothering you, or if there's anything you want to say positive to, get in the comments and let me know how you feel. All right. So Eric says, play calling is still unimpressive. I actually really love the backup quarterback from UIW and their OC. I don't know about their OC because I don't think I don't think their play caller did a great job either, to be completely honest. But I do think when the backup quarterback came in, they did a good job at just letting him play, calling aggressive play calls for him, and letting him really, really strut his stuff. I think that's important because that kid came in motivated. That kid came in happy. That kid came in, knowing that he had an opportunity to prove what he can do against big time competition. That's an FBS opponent that UIW just played against, right? That's FBS defense they played against. Even if it's one of the worst FBS defenses, he still had an opportunity. He went out there and seized that. The play calling for UTSA, I've just accepted that it's not going to be my cup of tea. I keep expecting something different, and he's given me 2 years and 3 games of nothing different. So it is what it is, folks. That's what we have. That's what we have. They put up 48 points today against UIW. So what can you say? What I can say is situationally, the 3rd and 7s, the 3rd and 8s, the 3rd and 9s, the predictable run play, hoping to get a couple yards so you can do a 4th down. That's not the way to go. Attack. That's not to me. That's not being aggressive, bro. That's not being aggressive. It's not being, and it's a joke. It's predictable. It's predictable. How many screenplays are we gonna call? Where's the balance? Listen. Our run calls are great, but through the air, here's what I'm trying to figure out, and y'all let me know what y'all think it is. Is it the coach not believing in the player that he can deliver, the player and the receivers that they can deliver the ball in a safe way and in an efficient manner, intermediate and downfield? Because that's up there. I don't think McCown is the most accurate quarterback we've ever seen, but I think he does have ability. Is it the coach like trying to protect his players, or is this just his philosophy? If so, it's limiting, bro. Either you are feeling the same or unimpressed going against a smaller school, but personally, I'm not impressed with the play calling. And once the backup came in, defense took a step back. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. Like I'm just gonna be real with y'all. That was not an impressive performance from UTSA. No. Yes, you're glad to see that, hey, you know what, they can do some things, of course, but like, did I leave that game? Actually, let me know. I want to know, please. I implore you guys to get in the comments here. Did you leave that game feeling like, hey, we're going to go win conference now? Did you win that game feeling, hey, we're going to go and blow out Colorado State next week? Did you leave that game feeling, hey, our offense has solved all our problems and I feel good about what we're going to put out there throughout the rest of the season? Did you leave that game feeling like, hey, defensively, we got it together, and some of the things that I've been concerned about did not show itself, and we're showing vast improvement from week 1 and week 2? Did you leave that game feeling that way? Because I didn't. And I am okay with, like, listen, people are gonna like say what they say about my the way I cover the game and all that type of thing. I have high standards for UTSA. I think I have, and I don't think they're unrealistic because of what Traylor has done and what he's brought to our program. But I watched that and I'm like, I'm like I said, I'm still scratching my head so much. And that was a team everybody could see that they with all due respect to UIW folks. I know there are some folks who are, that come in this chat who are, UIW alum and they support the school. I am truly not trying to be disrespectful. The talent gap was evident. They probably shouldn't have been on the field. I mean, it showed the gap between the FCS and the FBS opponent. And the game still just didn't feel the way. It didn't feel as dominant as it should have. And that's a red flag for me. I'm sorry. Kathy says you call the score great all around, but I'm not seeing longs from Owen. No, you're not. You seen one. You threw one. Think about what I was talking about from the Texas A&M game 2 games ago. McCown completed and this is not me going in on McCown. I think this is more of the offensive coordinator, but McCown completed one, I believe, of 9 passes beyond 10 yards, where the ball traveled beyond 10 yards. I'm not saying there wasn't a screen play that turned into a 10-yard plus game. That definitely happens. That happens every game. But beyond 10 yards, where the ball traveled in the air that long, right? He completed 1 of 9 attempts. In against Texas State, he was 1 of 5, anything beyond 19. And then from 10 to 19, he completed 4 over the middle, which is really good. Like his intermediate passing was good, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Against Texas State wasn't bad, but deep shots not great. We play UIW, y'all, and this is the part that where I scratch my head. Follow me on this. If there's a time to test out and give a real good test to how we're gonna do with the deep ball, how we're gonna do intermediate, don't you think it would be against the FCS opponent, the only one we have scheduled this year? Don't you? You don't think so? McCown had, listen to this. Like I said, this is not an attack on McCown. I am talking about the offensive coordinator. He completed 29 passes for 238 yards. I'm doing the math right now, but just before I even get the calculator out, I believe that's like 8 yards. I think that's like 8 yards of completion. But 1 second, let me get this out. Find about 29 completions. Yeah, 8.2 yards of completion, y'all. And it's not like I'm asking him to air it out all the time. But you had, and that's with the big pass from to Wilson. We're gonna be in trouble. Like that's not gonna scale well throughout the season. It's just not. It's just not. So to me, I'm like, hey, this is an opportunity for us to work on this now. We didn't. And I know it's a win, and I know people are going to be upset that I'm like frustrated right now, and I'm talking about my frustrations. I tried to give almost 15 minutes to like the positives at the beginning of the show, but I have to be my authentic self, and I I didn't feel good about what I watched. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but despite what the score ended up being, this wasn't a convincing win. The score was what it was because Torres was basically playing for us the entire first half. You're not wrong. I mean, that's exactly what I mean, right? Like, and and it, it's good to see that other people are sharing some of the feelings that I'm having because sometimes I get so wrapped up into this, I wonder if I'm being too critical. But it wasn't. It wasn't. I expected more, if I'm honest. I expected more. Additionally, what is up with all the Richard Torres hype? He played awful against Nichols and played even worse today. Even the announcers were gushing about him for whatever reason. I don't know, dude. Like I said, there's a lot of people that I'm close with that's around the UIW program, and that's all they talk about is like Richard Torres, Richard Torres, Richard Torres. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see it. I didn't see it in game 1 for sure against Nicholls State. I didn't even see it against Eastern Washington. It's all right. Like, listen, his numbers look good, but like I didn't watch that game and think like, oh my God, this is the quarterback in the future. He's going to be someone that all the D1 teams are going to want at the end of the year. I looked at that game and I'm like, he's late on a lot of throws. He telegraphs where he's going to go with the ball. He puts the ball in dangerous situations far too often. He does not move around the pocket very well. I don't understand the hype around him, if I'm honest. This game was so frustrating. We got lucky so many times. I feel like the final score should have been closer. I don't know if it should have been closer, but like I didn't come away with that game feeling like this is going to translate to the FBS level opponent that we will have. Like me being bullish on what we're going to do in conference has taken a massive hit. I don't know how you can watch these first 3 games and feel differently. I want to keep the positivity, but like I want to be positive, but they haven't given me much to be positive about. And that's just me calling a spade a spade. I'm going to shoot it straight, at least the way I see it anyway. I'm going to do my best to shoot it straight. Good win, scared for our defense. It was a win. I don't know if it was a good win, but it was a win. It was nice to see Owen finally land some accurate deep passes. I felt bad for him being forced to throw so many screens. How many deep passes did he land outside of the one? He threw some that didn't hit the mark, but the the one to AJ Wilson is the only one I can think that he threw that was completed. I still think he has some work to do on that part of his game. And I, you know what? Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Our defense banks on banks to come through. Yeah, our defense needs some help. Offense seemed predictable again. We lost our composure on defense in the second half, it seems. Listen, teams are going to score points on us. So, like, I'm not that worried about some of it. But, well, I was worried about some of the individual plays that I saw. I think I was more worried about those defenses in this day and age, like the way offenses are operating now and the way the game is even officiated. It's going to be tough for defenses to keep 0 points on the board. But they definitely lost the plot a little bit in that second half for sure. And the offense is always going to be predictable. Gabrielle says, "How about them Bobcats? Hope y'all have a great season. Love this channel." I'm not concerned about the Bobcats right now. Congratulations to y'all for last week, but it's UTSA for now, my guy. But thanks for being here, by the way. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, by the way. Like, subscribe to the channel, of course. Derek says, we should have shut those dudes out. One big play given up. I can be okay with that, but we had 3 big plays that I believe all scored. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have some issues on the back end. Even when I feel like they made plays, like we definitely got some issues on the back end. It has to be fixed. Who knows if they'll be fixed this season, but they'll either be fixed in a couple ways. They'll be fixed by the guys who are there, or all those guys will be gone, and there'll be new guys that's going to come in. I don't think Nick Graham is going to sit around for mediocrity. But we'll see. All right, never mind. We're on the same page. Yeah, I'm saying that we're on the same page too. We are lucky that Colson didn't play the whole. You know what? This is the tweet. This is the comment of the day. Yes, we would have beat them regardless. But yeah, we are lucky that he didn't play the whole game. It would have been a lot more nervy than what it ended up being. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Shout out to Tayani. I think that's how you pronounce it. Tayani Curry. That's a good one there. ATX says play calling is one dimensional. It's either screen pass or hand the ball off to the RB. The spread was 23.5 per ESPN, and we almost didn't cover. Yeah, we are a team that's trying to find an identity right now. Well, I think the offensive identity is obviously Robert Henry, but we got to find a passing identity or we're going to get crushed. We got to keep here's the thing. And we talk about dissecting the offensive coordinator. I'll answer this. I'll ask you guys this question whenever we talk about the offensive coordinator. He's part of the reason we are in so many 3rd and longs. He's I mean, the players have to execute. Don't get me wrong. I'm telling you, if you go talk to these coaches, and this is what y'all got to understand. This is what Coach Traylor is going to be coming from whenever he's answering questions about his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. When you talk to the coaches, they're going to go back and watch film and say, well, if such and such would have did this on this play, then this play would have been successful. They're going to find a way for every single play to be successful if X, Y, and Z would have happened. That's the way they operate a lot of the times. And yeah, they'll admit that some calls are just poor. This is a bad timing. I shouldn't have called this here, called this there, but I don't know. The play calling is underwhelming. Mike says, I have an observation. They removed some of the railing around the top of the dome this year. It seems like this is messing with the acoustics. It doesn't seem as loud as the years past. I don't think there was many people at that game. Some of the folks that I talked to who were there, they were all like, "Yeah, it's empty in here, bro." And after halftime, it was a problem too. Anyone know the attendance? I don't know, but it did not look great. I'd imagine under 25K. We seem to continue to get out coached in the second half. Um, it was definitely a lot more even, but I don't think we were out coached. But I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. What is this? Straight up Pokemon says, "Hey, shout out to you for I think this is your first comment because I have not seen this. So shout out to you for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel." He says, "Happy we got into the win column today. It's a positive, of course, but still felt we were not as dominant as we should have been. Absolutely. I won't be the dead horse is what I've been talking about this entire time, but absolutely, I completely agree." Jose Perez Cruz says, "Man, I'm sorry, man, I came away really unimpressed with the play calling. How many screens are we going to run? We have one of the best running backs in college football right now." Yeah, I mean, the screen game is crazy, dude. Like, I would love to hear, like, I'm gonna start going to the Monday. I think I'm gonna do it this week. The Monday presser to ask Jeff Traylor some questions. And I think my line of questioning is just going to be X's and O's. And I might do it this week. But I'm confused because honestly, if I'm being honest, I would love to learn something. Like, and I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not a coordinator, right? I just spectate. I know the game. I know the ball. I know every concept known to man about football, right? Like, you have to if you're going to play at this type of level. And I'm just, like I said, confused at why certain things are being called win and why do we feel like, I don't know. Like I said, the tricky part to all of this, I said this before, is they put up 48 points. They scored 48 points. So people are going to say you can question the play call and all you want. They're putting up numbers. Okay. Robert Henry is, in my opinion, a dark horse for Heisman. I think it's safe to say if he continues to have great games like this, he'll at least be in the conversation. Just my personal opinion. I appreciate this, but no. And the Heisman is going to be reserved for like the bigger teams, the bigger schools, and the schools that are winners. As great, I mean, he's going to be, in a Doak Walker conversation as top running back and those sorts of things. But like UTSA has to be doing something spectacular for him. I mean, think about Aston Genty last year. He didn't win the Heisman, and Boise State won like crazy last year, all off the back of him, and he didn't get it. So I trust me, I'm with where you're coming from, but it's not realistic that he'll get Heisman. But Doak Walker and a lot of individual awards, he'll be in a running for those. Let's see. Jacqueline says those screenplays. Trust me, Jacqueline, I'm with you. I'm with you. Thoughts on having Owen punt the ball himself? That was unexpected. It's not bad. I mean, you see quarterbacks do that all the time. At that on that like in that position of the field. Free Brandon Tennyson. Oh yes, I'm glad somebody finally said something about this. I have a lot to say about this. So I have a theory on the whole QB2 Brandon Tennyson situation that I think is important. And this is not me necessarily trying to start anything, but it's just the truth. And I'm going to attack it from a couple of different angles. But I think it is worth being discussed. This is also I want to preface my comments by saying this. I am not calling for Owen McCown's job in any way. I do think he should still be our starting quarterback. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. So I want to preface my comments by saying that. However, We are playing an FCS opponent today. We have a quarterback too in Brandon Tennyson, who has almost no experience in college games other than what we've seen of him in a drive or so against Texas A&M. What did he do in that drive against the Texas A&M? Even though there was their twos, maybe threes in some ways, he was excellent. He threw, he got it appears that he got all of his calls and his checks right, called the right plays. He threw a nice 14-yarder to the right side of the field. Then he hit AJ Wilson on a dot, deep ball. I think it was like 24-yard touchdown. You have an FCS opponent. And by the way, I asked JJ and Greg on Twitter, guys, can you ask Traylor about this at the end of the game? I'm not there. It should be me asking that question, but I asked them. They probably won't, and it's fine. But I at least wanted to put that out there. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We have a 3-4 possession lead over UIW, a team that we should dominate, and we're dominating for the most part of the game, even as unimpressive as it was. In the fourth quarter, why not get your inexperienced quarterback an opportunity to come in and get snaps and experience against an FCS opponent? That makes no sense, in my opinion. If anything, you want to get that guy experience just in case something happens to McCown later. Football is a gruesome sport. It's a physical sport. It's a contact sport that people get hurt all the time, quarterbacks included. And the backup has to come in. Quarterback is one of the positions where backups don't get much opportunity to play. And to me, I'm like, if there's one game that this kid is going to be able to play in, it should be this one. So you bring him in, and then here's another thing that ticks me off. So when you do bring him in with 2 minutes left, or however many, with 2-3 minutes left, you just hand the ball off. Why? Get that kid some experience and allow him to throw the ball. Allow him to feel what it feels like to be playing out there. Get him used, use these live reps as opportunities for that player. You never know what's going to happen. What if things go bad with our starting quarterback? I'm just giving a hypothetical. I'm not, like I said, I think McCown should be our starter. I am not questioning any of that, right? All I'm saying is, to this comment on free Brandon Tennyson, it is like, hey, dude, you had a full quarter where we're in full control. Give that kid a quarter and let him run the offense. I mean, Burke is going to just do screen passes anyway. I'm sure the kid can throw screens. Let him run the offense. Just so he has experience in case you need to call upon him at some time throughout this season. In case he gets it up. Because here's the thing. Could you imagine, I'm going to knock on wood, I hope y'all heard that, if we have a big pivotal conference game coming up, as we're going to have here in a couple of weeks, and something happens with McCown, and they have to bring Tennyson off the bench to come in and spell him for a game or maybe a run of games? Do you really want that to be his first time under the lights, feeling that pressure, adjusting to the speed of the game, understanding how defenses are switching coverages for him and disguising for him, understanding the traps they're trying to set for him, and the adjustments he got to make to be able to execute against defenses that are trying to trick him out of his position? Do you want that? Do you want that to be the first, a situation like that to be his first time in that, right? Like, he did get some time against A&M, of course, but this was a prime opportunity to get him more time. And I have another angle on this as well. We talk about recruiting, right? Recruiting is a big deal. There's been so much discussion about like Frank Wilson's recruits versus Jeff Traylor's recruits. I think about the quarterback position, a position we have not been able to recruit well, by the way. We have been fortunate to get the quarterbacks we got in terms of starters, right? But like, we don't have a stable of QBs at UTSA. You know, we don't have a huge, we don't have a stable to where like, oh, we're going and paying this we're not getting big names from other people. We're getting people that we're developing, right? Like this is no shade at Tennyson or Max Gerlich that we just got from high school. I know we brought in Noah Lugo from BYU or whatever. But these like we're not exactly pulling up trees in terms of like stars and all that type of stuff. Some of these recruits, like what message is this sending recruits? If we want to try to open up a pipeline and like McCown has this season and next, and who's to say he returns this season? I know the Traylor and McCown connection is who's to say he returns. So what message are you sending to the future recruits and to the players within your locker room who are quarterbacks? What message are you sending to them that they can't even get time in a blowout game against an FCS opponent early in the not early in the season? That's a wasted opportunity to me. That frustrated. I'm spending a lot of time on that because that was really frustrating. I'm like, why? Anyway, that one I was waiting to get to this comment. I saw it like a little early, and I was like, bro, I have to go in on this because it bothers me. That first off, that my perspective on that isn't exclusive to a quarterback, but the quarterback position is like one of those things where like, I go back to one of the comments Traylor made before the season started. They asked him about who QB2 was, and Traylor said, "I hope we never see him." And I'm like, okay, way to give your quarterback a vote of confidence, your backup quarterback a vote of confidence. You can give him confidence without making it a quarterback controversy. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't got to be a quarterback controversy just because you say, hey, if we got to run, we got to run with him. He'll be prepared. He'll be ready to go. Anyway, I thought that was frustrating to me. Sorry, I know I spent a lot of time on it. I'll try to roll through some of these other ones. Been saying that Wilson should start over McCoy. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. I've been saying that one as well. I actually would want AJ Wilson and DJ Allen to start. I feel like any targets they get are beyond the line of scrimmage, which is big because apparently we don't like to throw pat. We don't. First off, and you're right. I like Amador to still be there too, but and obviously McEwen, he's the perfect guy for what the offense likes to do. But yeah, we need to get those guys in the game more, especially AJ Wilson. Absolutely on AJ Wilson. So everybody's on the AJ Wilson train here. AJ Wilson's at another level because the others downfield, getting the ball, period. Absolutely. I'm in agreement there. Announcer said McCoy was our deep ball threat. Did a double take when I heard that. We brought Wilson on for a reason, but the coaches or the coaching staff misplaced loyalty is killing us. Yeah, I mean, he was our deep ball threat last season in terms of who they threw the most deep balls to. I mean, right now they're throwing the most deep balls to McEwen, which he can do that, but I think AJ Wilson is more suited for that. I like McEwen doing what he's doing, catching the screens, catching some of the underneath routes, hitting them on third downs. That's the kind of receiver McEwen is doing, and we should spam him in that way. But yeah, AJ Wilson is so quick and talented. I do agree we should give him more touches. Surprised we didn't get him more involved in the first two games. He ain't as quick. He ain't that quick, but he's he's a very, very good player. Very good player. And I expect to see him more. He'll start soon. I'll say it. McCoy is hurting us in the starting lineup. Coach needs to make the move that's best for the team. His loyalty takes a backseat. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's exactly what I tweeted immediately after one of the plays AJ Wilson had. There's no I mean, they're not throwing him the ball, McCoy. No reason to have not they purposely not throwing him. Of course. Sorry, guys. No audio. I think my foot hit the audio thing. Can y'all hear me now? I hope y'all can. How much did y'all miss? Oh, I gotta. You know what? I have to move my. I'm just gonna have to move this from under my desk at some point. My foot kicks the audio and it goes off. Anyway, basically, what I was saying before was, um, what's his name? I think one of the things Traylor does with the quarterback situation is I don't think he wants to create a controversy, and I think he doesn't want Tennyson's um, strengths to show because they're probably not McCown's strong suits, and he probably doesn't want people asking questions about it. I think that's one of the reasons why he brings Tennyson in at the end of the game. He doesn't really give him the opportunity in the fourth quarter, and then when he does, it's just straight handoffs. Um, it's a problem. It's a problem. Please educate me, y'all. But how can we analyze anything in this game without a huge spoon of salt? It's a D2 team. It's a one AA team or FCS opponent, but yeah, you don't take too much from it. To your point, Frank. I hope people can hear me now. About 3 minutes. That sucks. If I hope I sum that 3 minutes up. I'm sorry. Tyreek. Yeah, shout out to Tyreek, man. I had a lot of good conversations with Tyreek and his crew in the at the tailgate last week. Such an unimpressive game despite the win. As I said, that offense called another screen. If the UIW quarterback came in the third quarter and started the game, we lose this game. I don't know about that. That's a little too far, but it's definitely a different game if he would have started. Robert Henry's house call was on 3rd and 9. Shouts out to the man taking it to the house, but such a dumb play call. Yeah, I know. We do it all the time. 3rd and 9, I don't get it. But he did his thing, so shout out to him. Some third team defenders got a lot of snaps today, as they should. Why are you playing your starting quarterback the whole game? Insane, insane, crazy to me. Like I said, part of the 3 minutes I think you guys missed was me talking about like the quarterback situation. I just don't think Traylor wants a quarterback controversy, and the part that sucks about that is Tennyson is going to get screwed, and it sends a poor message to any prospective quarterbacks that's going to come into the team. Who wants to come in and play, and like who wants to come into a team and literally know that I'm not going to get a chance, and if I do get a chance, I'm gonna get my legs cut under me once the coach feels like this guy's my starter. Like, who's going to be happy with that? Nobody. We got to consider. I don't think UIW's play caller was that great. I see a couple of y'all think so. By the way, for those of y'all who are still here, because I know once my audio went out, most people left. But who do y'all got in the Crawford and Canelo fight tonight? Considering that my fan is heavy, my folks are heavily in San Antonio. I have a good idea on who y'all are fans are of, but I'll be curious to talk through a couple of thoughts there. I left this game like the rest of the season is going to be bad. I'm not going to lie to y'all. And you know what? I'm finna scan the rest of the question. I'm probably going to wrap on this because I see a lot of people are talking about the rest of the, I'm going to wrap on this. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't feel good about the rest of the season. We're going to struggle. We're going to struggle against We're going to struggle against teams that are on our level. We're gonna struggle against the conference. Our offensive coordinator or our play calling, for whatever reasons it is, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it, and I think situationally it gets us into trouble a lot, and we can't afford those blunders. We've been having those same issues for years at this point, and it seems like we're going to have them again. I do think defensively we'll figure it out, though. Even though that's probably me just having faith in the guys on that side of the ball. But I think it's going to be a long year. Like, I think I predicted 9 games. We're going to win 9 games. Based on what I've seen through 3, I think that's saying that we're going to win 9 games based on what I've seen in the first 3 is probably a silly comment. And for anybody who wants to come at me for that, I can't even be mad at you. I can't even be mad at you. Whenever I look across the conference and I see how impressive South Florida's been, I see, North Texas is becoming a problem. I mean, you see what's going on. Like, they got new coordinators, and now you got a different team. You know what I'm saying? Some of these games that I checked off as wins coming into this. That's the good thing about football. You got to go out and prove it. I mean, they hung 59 on Washington State today, North Texas. When you talk about like teams improving and teams doing what it takes to make changes and make difference, they're doing it. They're doing it. Anyway, I see these teams performing well, and then I think about the way UTSA is performing. What do you do? What do you do with that? Not confident. I'm not confident. So I hope that we right the ship. I'm not losing faith in Traylor, but the sign, it seems like he has a tougher job than in years past because I'm not seeing much change. Like, I thought I was going to see like a little bit more change from this week because we were playing a lesser opponent than what we had in week 1 and 2. I ain't seen much change. I mean, I seen some on defense for sure, but the thoughts of a conference championship seems far off. At this point, I'm just like, bro, let's get to a bowl game and then figure it out from there. It's going to be a rough year. Well, I don't want to say that necessarily. Like, it's going to be a rough year based on our expectations because a lot of us were thinking like, yeah, we have an opportunity to win a conference title. I don't know how likely that is now. I'm gonna try to pick through a few more of these. I know I screwed up with the audio. I had no business kicking that. I gotta find a new place for my my roadcaster that controls my mics and all the stuff that connects me to this. You know what? I've moved my desk back, so I'm gonna have to get a light right here so my background can have a little bit more light. I have an extra light right here, but I know I have a new setup. It's a little dark on the screen. Could we beat Tarleton State at this point? I hope so. Yes, I was banking on this game to be an evaluation game for our offense. The OC seems to be set at throwing the ball behind the sticks. Yep. Yes, preacher. We need to open up McCown a lot more today. Let's see what else we got. Our DB's going to get torched for the rest of this season. I hope not. Brother, I'm so with you. OC sucks and play calling ain't gonna get it done. I agree. Attendance was 20K. Jesus, that's low. I would love to hear what coach has to say in response to your X's and O's questions. Do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on Monday. For all I know, they may like not give me the media stuff. They may not send me the. I always get the link, but I never. Y'all know how I feel about asking coaches or anybody a part of like in-season questions. They're going to give you media trained answers. But to be fair, he was a little snappy. Did y'all see him last week? He was a little snappy at Greg Luca. He's a little snappy at Greg Luca last week. I thought that was funny. I was like, okay, there we go. I don't think he liked getting questions from me on that stage. I think if I could talk to him in another situation, he probably wouldn't care. I think either way, if we play Tennyson or not, our defense is horrible. Our Achilles heel. Imagine if we had Frank Harris this year, we wouldn't win much because our defense is absent. They got to get better. Please ask about why Brandon Tennyson didn't get any snaps while you're there. I will. I'm going to watch the stuff tonight to see if Greg Luca and JJ see if they ask. But yeah, I think it's not that those guys don't do a good job. They do a great job actually, and I do think people are a little harsh on them. Listen, I think some of their questions are softballs, but like you have to. They got relationships with these people, so I completely understand it. I think they do both. They will ask some tough stuff, but there probably needs to be somebody else to come in and muck it up a little bit. I'm more interested in the X's and O's. That's more my expertise. That's more so what I care about. I just watch the games over and over and over. Like that's the way I consume and I prepare to talk about UTSA. I just watch the games over and over and over. I'm asking questions from that, or I would want to ask questions from that standpoint. But like, how much strategy and scheme is coaches going to give up in some of this stuff? Probably not much, which is why I don't think about asking. But I do think there are some things that are just necessary to ask. But this Brandon Tennyson one is a big one because I'm like, come on, bro. This is an opportunity. You know, I don't know. I've got an opinion that may be unpopular. Has Jeff Traylor reached his coaching limit at this level? Is it time for an upgrade? You know what? Great question. Great question. Great question. Ooh, Dwayne, if you could ask, I hate that I got this question at minute 59 because I have to get off here in a second. If you could please port this over to my Wednesday show, I will go in on. I have some thoughts about this one right here. I hope you come back Wednesday and ask this question. I would love to really go in on this one. JJ says thoughts on Will Henderson. Great. I think he's going to be a great player. He's fast, and I think he's going to be able to be someone who contributes a lot for us. Anyone else feel like there's a loyalty type thing with Owen at QB? I mean, the coach did coaches that. Yeah, there's definitely some loyalty stuff going on. I'm not saying Owen is not deserving because he is though. I think he is deserving of his position, but like I said, I think he's being protected, and that's one of the reasons why Tennyson is not getting snaps. Like I said, I can ask him this question and he'll say it's nonsense, and he'll say something like, I'm surprised somebody would ask me that. I don't care. It just doesn't make sense to like have a quarterback with no experience be your backup and not get them experience when the opportunity presents itself. And then when you bring him in, you're gonna bring him in and hand the ball off each time. Like you're putting your eggs all in one basket. So yeah. We should use our tight ends more like we did. I think we are. I think we are using them a little bit more. I think we'll be fine. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Let's see. We got a few more questions here that I'm going to top off. What's the consensus? I'm late. Basically, people. I mean, a win is a win. We'll take it. There's some frustration because it was not as impressive as people thought, including myself. So yeah. People only think UIW's play calling was good because Burke is so bad and boring. I agree. UIW's play calling wasn't great either. Crawford looks better on paper, but takes it. But Canelo is the overall fan favorite. Yeah, I think Crawford's a better boxer, but it's hard to beat. It's going to be hard to beat Canelo because he's big. He has the power advantage, and the judges just love that guy. So, and they're in Vegas. It's going to be a pro Canelo crowd. It's going to be hard for Crawford unless he just really, really dominates, especially USF and Army games. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, bro. Derek says there has been a lot less culture talk this season. No triangle. I know, right? I know. Interesting. It's very, very interesting. Given the level of hype and support that the city was beginning to give, it certainly is a letdown. Yeah, I just feel like there's not Listen, that losing to Texas State sucked the energy, I think, out of everybody. It sucked the energy out of me. It made me sick, literally. Um, so yeah, they got to do a lot to get it back. I don't know if this game against Incarnate Word has done that. This did not inject life into people. In fact, it may have did the exact opposite. Rob Ochoa says, "Do you think Coach Traylor has buyer's remorse? It seems like his zeal for the position has slowly faded. He doesn't have the twinkle in his eye he once did. Was signing 10 years a mistake? I mean, he's in a different situation. Football and trying to run a program and be the head of a program is tough, man. There's a lot of grind. There's a lot you have to go through. He's also wearing separate or different hats, trying to fundraise for the program. He has a lot of things that he's dealing with. So like, I don't necessarily think it's buyer's remorse, but I think he's in a situation where like it's just probably a tough moment for him. I'll say that. Appreciate the coverage. Thank you guys for being here. Says you ever gonna do a live reaction for the game? I think this is a live reaction, but what I think you're saying is a like a companion, like watch the game while I'm like while the game is actually on. Yeah, I plan on doing that next week actually. So for away games where I know a lot of people won't be traveling, I plan on doing something like that, but I want to have a producer. So I am trying to get some sponsors to get a producer to help out with some of that stuff, because that would mean I'm on this thing for like 4 hours almost, and I'll just need some help doing some of this stuff if I'm doing that. So yeah, I plan on doing that next week. Hopefully I'll have a producer in time. If not, I'll probably try to put it together myself. But yeah, I do plan on doing that. Anyway, thank you guys for being with me. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys. Make sure you are back here on Wednesday for the game preview for Colorado State. I'm glad UTSA won today, but yeah, there's just a lot more that needs to be done in order to give me some confidence going forward. But appreciate you guys for reacting to this stuff with me. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out.